If you sell your kilo of coffee beans for $100, and then you go to the supermarket and buy a tin of coffee, already processed, because the process is just roasting. 100 grams for $100. Now, 1,000 grams would be how much? So the guy who just roasted, he didn't plant, he didn't weed it, he didn't harvest it, all he did was buy it from you, is getting 100 times 1,000. That's a kilogram. When the farmer is getting only $100. So this is the status quo that needs to change in Africa for us to be a wealthy country, a wealthy continent. And that is the thing also that must change, the status quo that must change for the Gambia. Our produce should be processed. If they are not processed, at least we as producers should be in a position to say, we are going to sell our raw materials at this price, take it or leave it. So the directive about the people going in, we don't want unscrupulous people to go around, start with high price, and then end up giving credit notes to farmers, and then yours sincerely, because most of the people are foreigners, when they go, there's no way we can trace them. And then the farmers will come back to government to appeal, to say, oh, we have this, somebody took our granules. We wanted to make sure that Gambian farmers are secured. We also don't want bogus farmers to go in, spoil the market, and go. It happened before, and that is why we wanted it regulated. So whatever we do is for the interest of the Gambian farmers. Of course, if a bag of granule can go for $3,000, that's what I want. Because that is the way we eliminate poverty. And that will also encourage people to go, more people to go into agriculture, granule production or whatever production it is. Today, when you look at, I thank the Almighty Allah that in 1994, Gambia was not a major producer of cashew nuts. Today, Gambia is a major producer of cashew nuts. And for every cashew trading season, you have a Gambian, one or two Gambians who are nothing less than $3 million, which obviously is not compared to granules. I'm not saying that granule farmers should abandon and go and do cashew nut farming. But you can grow both granules and cashew nuts. Cashew nuts are not labor intensive. The only labor intensive agricultural activity is granules and rice. And that's why we provide tractors, and we continue to provide tractors to mechanize it, make it easier for Gambian farmers. So this year, farmers having this opportunity of higher prices than what government, what GGC has announced. That is what we want, competition. If GGC wants to buy granules, they should also match the price that is being offered by the private sector. Let me make it very clear. If private sector is providing more higher prices, I would encourage the farmers to sell to the highest bidder, and that's what I want. So there's no question of GGC or whatever C. Whoever has the money, and I'm sure that you're not going to rip the farmers off, it's up to the farmers to sell their granules where they want to sell it. They can sell it to the highest bidder. But also, a note of caution here, because Gambian farmers, some of them are in the habit of selling everything and then forget that they're going to plant the next season, and then come April, when I go and talk, the president, we need seeds and we need fertilizer. That is not going to happen. I will not do it. Because last year we provided seeds and fertilizers free of charge. This year is not going to happen. Thank God the rainfall was very good. We prayed hard for that. Allah answered our prayers. There's a bumper harvest. The prices are good, better than what GGC is offering. So that means every farmer is in a position keep your seed nuts and buy your fertilizer. There is, I will repeat, there is no way we are going to provide fertilizer free of charge for anybody. You see, all the appeals, as far as I know, were only for 2 farms, the one in Kanilai and the Dasilame rice field. We still have other fields that are still being harvested, you know. But as a human being also, this is the time that everybody is harvesting. The fact that they came to help me on several occasions, I should be considerate enough to also not appeal again, despite the constraint that we have, that we may have post-harvest losses. But I will also, my concern does not allow me to call people to help me now that everybody is harvesting. So it's not that everything has been harvested, that's why we are not making an appeal, but because also everybody is harvesting. And that being the case, I cannot call people and say, oh, come and help me. They helped me before, so I should at least, my concern would not allow me to call them to abandon their harvesting period to come and help me. The time I call them, most of them are not harvesting. That's why I call them to come and assist. That does not mean that the harvesting is finished. It's not. Even up to now, the main farm in Kanilai, dressing and winnowing is not finished. So that tells you that from one farm, okay, I'll tell you that I have more than 2,000 bags of granules from just one farm and still not finished. So that tells you it's a bumper harvest, because I have never had 2,000 bags in one given year in all the farms that I have across the country. When you put all the agricultural produce in terms of granules, the whole across the country, I have never had 2,000 bags. This one farm, I have more than 2,000 bags, and still threshing of granules is going on and winnowing is going on. So it's a bumper harvest.
Allah be praised. You introduced the rice variety called Konkobai, and it was sent to all divisions as a pilot phase. How is it faring?
Well, 2 things. The rice variety has been distributed to farmers, to governors, and as a pilot phase, but also as a means of seed multiplication by the indigenous people themselves, that they can distribute it in the regions. That was why it was given to governors. The Minister of Agriculture was supposed to supervise all this, especially NARI, and give me briefings. Unfortunately, they have not done so. But looking at that agricultural program with Bakari Fati, I've seen, in fact, a situation where somebody planted the rice in the dry season and had only one well, and his son was who is going to school, was the one taking care of it, just like a vegetable garden, and it was doing extremely well. So somebody has a well and using the hand, a pail to fetch the water, and if you look at it, it's less than a hectare what he was cultivating, but the crops look so good. I did not also think of planting it in the form of a vegetable garden with only a well. But now this farmer has, in agriculture you learn every day. So this has proven that even those vegetable growers who have wells like in Bakau, they can grow both rice and other vegetables during the dry season. And so this particular farmer said that he got about 1 kilo from somebody, I think from the governor or from the chief, and this was what he was propagating. And he thought that he would get about 25 bags from this small field, which he is also going to distribute to other farmers. So it is going on very well, because I have seen people saying that they have harvested 2 or 3 times, and this is exactly what I want. So it's going on very well as Narika, because when we started